Good evening and welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. Monday, the beginning of another week is upon us. We're a few days closer to the primaries, May 17th, and the politicians are out there. They're saying what they're going to do, but at the end of the day, no one knows. But we are getting some indications that Trump and his followers are laying the groundwork for the platform of politicians that's going to run for governor in the primary in Pennsylvania. And, people, the thing you're going to have to do is let your ballot speak for you. If someone that you feel like that they don't represent you or telling the truth, you have to come out. You can't stay home. You have to come out and cast that ballot. Um, as much as corruption and stuff in the government that we see and things that we don't like that happens, we still have to come out and vote. Um, right now, I'm still trying to figure two things out. One, uh, Donald Trump lost the election. And for the last 2 years, he has been in the news, the headlines every single day almost. That I can't understand. He was in, he lost, that's it. It should be Biden, but it's not. And I understand why, because he got such a large number of supporters that came out to vote for him. But he still lost the election. And here we still have, to this very day, 2 years later, we still have politicians refusing to accept the legitimacy of our election process and Joe Biden as our elected president. I don't, I do not understand that. I don't understand it. And politicians, our elected politicians, and this is the last time I'm going to talk about this because it just boggles my mind. I'm tired of talking about it, but it's so in the forefront. And so many people, I can't believe so many people are denouncing or refuse to accept Joe Biden as our legitimate president of the United States. It's millions. And from what I understand, the one of the governors that's running in the primary for governor of Pennsylvania, he does not believe that the election was fairly uh, done. And yet he's running for governor of Pennsylvania. So that's why I said people have to come out and vote. You have to. And second of all, I'm beginning to think, even at the end of the day, seriously, does it really count? Because anytime that someone can run for office, okay, President of the United States, has no political experience at all, can be elected to the most powerful seat in the world and start calling and start making life and death in the world, throughout the world. How is this possible? So at the end of the day, you know, I, I ask myself, does it really it matters? Does it really matter on a large scale of things? I mean, we definitely have to come out. I'm beginning to think that your local elections is more important really than the president, than the big one. I don't know, but it's just so much uh, untruths and so much like corruption and lies, so much hypocrisy. I mean, should this be in our government? In America, the government here in America, I mean, it's got to a point where we expect that in other countries with dictators. This is America. This is not supposed to be happening in this country. And it's a subconscious psychological, because I think what's actually fueling the separation of the people here in this country is racism. It's not so much about by the young people. It's like the young boys say, it's like the old heads. Because if when you putting us against one another, and that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm saying. That's why, you know, uh, Donald Trump is very smart. He's a smart businessman. You don't get to be that and do the things that he do and pull the deals that he pulled. He's a smart man. You have to give it to him. He had a show on television that was, I think it was number one. I don't know. I never watched it, but I heard it was good. It's entertaining. He had a lot of people watching it. But he's smart. But and I think the American people need to really just come together behind this thing and realize that we are all in this thing together. We're all in it together. You know, it's not about uh, uh, black or white, or it is, but it should not be about black or white or the color of your skin. It should be about survival. It should be about uh, carving out a decent and securable life for yourself and for your family. Um, the more I think about it, uh, in this country, as opposed to a lot of other countries that have out and out dictators, there's nothing to be had. You can go to college, have all the education you want, get out, graduate from college, become a doctor, lawyer, but there is no jobs to be had. So that's what here in America, you can get something. There's something to be gotten here in America. You can get a life. You can raise a family, and that it's attainable here in America. Whereas in other countries, a lot of countries, it's not even attainable. You can't even get it. It's not available for you. Um, that's why so many people try and come to America. A lot of them die trying. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised the number of people died trying to come to America. And those that do make it to America, they are the ones that work 20 hours out of a day because where they came from, there was nothing to be had. So here, when you can get something, you have a chance to get something. Look, it's not enough hours in a day for them to get it. Sometimes 300 times more. 5 times, well, not maybe not 100, but 5 or 10 times more. In some cases, maybe so. I don't know. So that explains why you see a lot of immigrants come over and they just work, 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 and they work at a lower wage because, like I said, they came from making nothing. So at least they have a chance to make something and provide for their family. So when you're born here in this country, you are an American citizen. You're wasting your mental and physical abilities doing nothing. Which doing nothing, you're gonna wind up in life with nothing. And that's why, you know, uh, I heard on the news today, gun violence is it have gotten to uh, epidemic proportion. Every day, killings, robberies. These people that's doing this stuff, I mean, I grant you there's domestic quarrels, and even that comes from not um, even you got to put education. I don't care how you cut it. You have to put education at the base of this. And just because you have money does not mean you smart. You know, um, Will Smith proves that you can do things. That's just having the ability to do one thing or two things or three things. But you take a person out of that circle and you know completely nothing about anything outside of that circle. And when you see somebody doing something, look at how they got there. They worked. The ones who started it. I mean, the offsprings. Once your parents have attained a lot of wealth, and they give it to the kids. Kids haven't learned anything. They're living off of what their parents did. So they have the money, but they null and void life itself. That's why they act like they do. You know, that's why sometimes, not all, but that's why sometimes they stray. They have to try and find something to fill that void, so they'll turn to drugs, or they'll turn to this, or they'll turn to that. Because after a while, you're going to need some kind of fulfillment, some kind of substance in there that has some realness to that gap that's missing in your life. So what we're seeing now is what has not been sown. It's what certain people have been deprived of. Education, uh, the knowledge of a proper schools that also comes under education. But then at the same time, you have to sit down and look at religion. You're not saying that you have to believe in religion, but people that don't believe in religion, you believe in something because you're not out here acting a fool. There's something that inside of you that's saying, "Hey, look, don't do that," or "I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this." There's something inside of you that's saying, "Hey, look, I am not an animal. I am a human being." Now, what is that that's keeping you from crossing that animal line? Something. And people, it's time that we start being responsible. It's time for us to start calling things like it is, because This is not a playground, even though so many of us think it is. It's not. This is your crossroad in life. This is your crossroad. This is your chance to be human, to develop yourself. Being human is about knowledge. It's about attaining a certain level of consciousness. You're not just put here. Look here, I'm gonna tell you something. If all I thought I could do was just work and get old and die, then what's the point in living if there's not something to actually live for? So if that's the case, then why not die at a young age and prevent all the hardship that you're going to go through? Because that's not what life is about. You're searching, you don't even know what you're searching for, but you know you're searching for something. It's just like a tree. That tree, all trees, all plants, they grow toward the life, the energy from the sun is what pulls that light, is what pulls these plants and trees straight up. You can have I was going somewhere. I think it was the time I was going to upstate New York. Somewhere I was on a trip, and these trees was growing out of the side of the mountain. You know, so and when they grew out, they grew out a little bit, but then they twisted and they shot straight up to the sun because that's that light. We are human. We're living in search of the light. And that to me, that's the difference. That's that difference that separate us from humans. I mean, excuse me, from animals, humans from animals. And when you look at animals in the wild, all animals live in fear. And this is what we have become. This is what we are becoming. Look at us. Look at us. We have to have police. We have to have burglar alarms. We have to have permits to carry guns. We need bodyguards. We need metal gates around the house that we live. And you'd think that we have these types of defense protective measures. You think we would have we're having this for some animals that's out there that's trying to attack us and eat us. But no, this is against us, other humans, other humans. This is insane, but it's becoming a norm. So that means we are becoming more like animals and less like humans. We're living in fear. And we not only that, but we're missing the boat. We're missing what life is really all about. I had people say, "Oh, hit me, kill me then." This is the type of attitude that we have in certain instances that comes upon us. Don't you know that life is for learning? I mean, money, we need money to live. Absolutely. Absolutely. But don't you know it's something wrong? It's just common sense. Something wrong when there's a person with billions and millions and even $1 trillion, and here's some people who with none. You can't spend $1 trillion. $1 trillion is 1,000 billion dollars. $1 billion is 1,000 million dollars. Now just think about that. You take a billionaire is more is a trillionaire. that's more. He has more money in the economy in some countries. He can buy anything. If he buy, okay, you buy. Say for example, we just had someone to purchase Twitter, $44 million. Okay, 44 billion dollars. I'm sorry. Okay, 44 billion. But a trillionaire is $1,000 billion. So 44 billion for nothing. At that rate, you could buy half the planet. You could own a city, 2 or 3 cities if you want to. And then what? So what? But yet, everybody, we have a coronavirus. I just heard that there's a coronavirus. It's on the rise again. Uh, it said the people that have not had the two vaccines, not the third one, the two vaccines. So now you are in danger of getting the coronavirus. Okay. And then the people that have had the two shots, they still can get sick from the virus. And then the virus isn't going away. Then that's going to be another virus. And after this virus, that's going to be another virus. Then that's going to be another virus. So what you need to be doing is taking care of your body, taking care of your mind. You need to start building a strong immune system. I said that when the virus first hit, I said it's going to boil down to a strong immune system. It's going to boil down to a strong mind because the mind and the body is one and the same. You don't know. Just because a person doesn't believe in something doesn't make that something not believable. It's just that you don't believe it. It doesn't make it not real. You just don't believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, see, this is another thing. If you don't believe in it, it doesn't work for you. That's what God told me one time. He said, um, he said, I don't believe in God. You know what I told him? Well, that's fine. I do. God is a focal point in you where you can focus your strength. You focus your strength on, and you get your strength from that, from God. I believe in God, so the things that I believe in is the things that's real to me. My mind and my body and my environment reflects upon how I believe. You see, and the thing about what people don't realize, there's a lot of things. See, there's a lot of things that people don't realize. Excuse me, sorry. There's a lot of things that people don't believe in, and come up short. And what I mean by coming up short is everything is real. Just don't stop taking things just at face value. No, they say it's like from uh, little little drips of water. If drips of water will drip on something long enough, it'll make an indentation in it or wash it away over time. And it's not given the amount of time that it's going to take to get from point A to point B. That's why sometimes, if you ever heard the saying that it's in the Bible that say a day is like 1,000 years and 1,000 years is like one day. Well, what that means is everything is a manifestation of a thought. What one person may take 5 minutes to, to it might take another person 2 years to do it. So that's time. That's one expression, definition of time, the manifestation of a thought. See, when you start talking, and I'm not here to tell people about how to believe. I'm not here to tell people how to believe. It's not my. It's not what I'm here for. I'm merely here to uh, tell of my experiences. That's what I'm qualified to speak on. I'm not qualified to speak on certain things. But this podcast is think about it using common sense. And we're not using common sense. Common sense is no longer common. That's why when someone says something that's put in a profound category, it's not that that's profound, it's just that you're that far from having common sense to see it for what it really is. And it's simple. It's simple. That's what made Jesus such a good prophet. He analysis, he broke things down to its lowest common denominator what people could understand. So you sow, so shall you reap. What you put out, that's what you're going to get back. He said, have faith. He said, have faith is as small as a grain of mustard seed. You can say to yonder mountain, move, and it will move. But you have to understand that religion also pertains to your human body because he said, what did he say? He said, your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. Simple. Simple. You can't get it any simpler than that. And so if your body a temple of the Holy Spirit, okay, and if you hold the Holy Spirit to the point where he said, so you sow, so shall you reap, okay? So you out here doing putting all this crazy stuff into your body. So when these crazy things start happening to you, then why are you acting like, oh, why is this happening to me? Check out, what are you doing? It's time for this stuff to stop. It's just that simple. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that each one of us here in America, that was born in America, able to come to this country, because there's countries all over the world, there's all different types of environments, of suffering all throughout the world. But here we were put here in America. Why? Why were we here in America, not over somewhere else? Why were we here in America and we're not a caterpillar, or elephant? They are life forms. They are life forms now. Think about it. So we had a crossroads. So that must have been, I think, there must have been something in our spirit, our soul, our DNA, something that brought us here in this country, even though it's not perfect. There's a lot of bad stuff been going on here, but it still brought us up in it where we have a chance at a crossroad to make things better, to have a better life for ourselves. And what are we doing with it? What are we doing with it? There is more than enough wealth for everybody. A birthright, clean water, and a roof over your head should be a birthright for every human being on the face of this earth. And once you get a pad, get more than that, then you work for it. Then you work to maintain it. But for some man, it's a person here, they got trillions. This person here have nothing. No, you know why? Because it's excuse me, it's equal, and it's not. It's unequal. But the way things were done, when people, you had people like the slaves worked. They worked. They didn't get paid. They didn't do this, and people got rich off of free labor. They got rich off free labor. Then they got so wealthy, got used to the money, didn't want them to have nothing. But there is justice. It's justice. And this is part of what's fueling things today. You understand? Because there's people that think, oh well, you know what? If there's so many people, too many people of color, and this and that, they're gonna take over this, and nobody's taking over anything. Nobody that has it, they are not going to let it go. You understand? So, but this country, you can get something. You can work together and, and work along with the system and be a part of it, be a constructive part of it. Let's be a constructive part of it. You don't have to be uh, uh, uneducated and just run around and think you can kill and do this and do that. No, to survive and enjoy life. No, for real, I don't even think people know what enjoying life is. Really, you know, there was times there was times that you could sit down and you can mind travel because everything is in your head anyway. You can be sitting in paradise somewhere on some island, and you know what? If you done been through a bad relationship and you got a lot on your mind, you might as well not even be there because you're not even enjoying it. You understand? So it tells you right there, it's all in the mind. It's all in your mind. And people had we have to get our heads out of the sand. I mean, everybody, and start realizing the value and what you have and what you're able to have and what you're able to achieve and learn because we are destroying ourselves. We look at people that live 100 years old, 105, 10 years old. It's nothing. It's nothing. You're living like that, you don't even know how to live. People live to be 100 years old, been eating all kinds of junk and smoking and drinking, eating bad foods, putting all kinds of stuff in their mind, stuff in their head, not believing, and they still live to 80, 90 years old, 95. Can you imagine? Just think for a minute. Just imagine if you ate right, if you had the right thoughts, develop around the right thoughts. Huh? You don't know what you could be. You could be anything you want. You could live as long as you want to live. You can revitalize your whole body. Your cells, they already said your cells die out every so often. Old cells, new cells regenerate. I mean, that happens on a small scale. If you cut your finger, you can heal yourself. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything, just automatically heal. These are just things, little natural things that happen. Imagine if you use your brain and strike a match to these things. Superhuman. Superhuman. But they don't come in the form of Batman and Superman and uh Iron Man. No. They come in the form of humans. But you have to use your mind, your body, eat right, think right, do the right things, learn about yourself. And you'll see a difference. Because I mean, it's good to be. There's a purpose. You have to find your purpose in life because purpose is very, very important. If you don't have a purpose, then why are you here? What is your reason to live? Think about it. Think about it. And as much as needs to be done in this country, no, that's not funny. That's not. I didn't get a little chuckle to make you think that's funny, but as much work needs to be done on this planet with people around the world. There's enough work to keep every individual on this planet busy. And for you seniors out there, for you seniors who have worked your life with all the knowledge that you have learned, and for you to take that knowledge to your grave without helping someone, helping make this world a better place, is an injustice to yourself and to the planet and to the people that could use the knowledge you have obtained in your lifetime. Think about that. And people always talk about retiring, retiring. You look at these politicians, some of them 85 years old, still getting up every morning, going to work. They multi-millionaires, and they telling us, "Oh yeah, you retired at 65, and you tell them they got enough money to even buy a loaf of bread after you pay all your bills. How the hell you gonna retire?" But yet they're millionaires and still working. Okay, so that should tell you something. You gotta start thinking about this stuff. And you gotta start checking these people. They're not checked. These politicians is like a blank check. It's like you giving me a blank check. Okay, just fill in whatever you need, and it's okay. Same thing with these politicians. We elect them in office. All they do whatever they do. They tell you one thing. They get in office. They do whatever they want to do. They get their own. They write their own checks. They write their own paychecks. They write this. They get this. We know nothing. And yet, who do they work for? They work for the American people. And then you're going to get in office and talk about you don't believe in the system? Are you crazy? No, you're not crazy. You think we're crazy. You think the American people are crazy. And sometimes I may be inclined to agree with you. Because at the end of the day, it's about our family. It's about living in peace. It's about feeling safe when you walk in the streets. It's about knowing what you want to do in life. It's knowing having a clear head. It's knowing you not having Alzheimer's and forgetfulness and all these different diseases and stuff. We do not have to have them. This is a product of our lifestyle. This is what it comes from. And it's obvious that people don't care. A lot of these people don't care. The manufacturers, they don't care. If I mean, food, half the kids now, half of these kids that's born today are diabetics. Babies, 5, 6, 7 years old, diabetics. You buy a bottle of soda pop, 900 900 grams of sugar, 100 grams of sugar. Not 900, that's a big extract, but 100 grams of sugar in these sodas, these cakes, all this ice. This stuff is addictive. Addictive. You get 30 years old, all your teeth gone. Sugar, plus you're diabetic. Diabetics affect your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, your eyes, your blood vessels, everything. Sugar clogs up everything. They know it. They don't care. With the money. So there comes a time when you have to take responsibility for yourself. Read up on it. They ain't all these hospitals and stuff are not being built for nothing. And I'm telling you the truth. It's you have to start living in a real world and stop being just laid around and believe everything somebody tell you. Do some investigating. Work together. Work together with your family. Rebuild that trust that's missing. You can't do anything with anybody if you don't trust them. Will you somebody else you don't trust? No. If you did let them in there, you got to keep your gun handy. Is that what you want to do? And you still can't trust them. You have to trust. And if you don't believe in anything, people say, "Oh, I don't." Well, if you don't believe in anything, tell me what's keeping you in line. I know what's keeping me in line. Me believing and thinking the way I think. That's what's keeping me in line. And I'm so thankful. When I was coming up, my father disciplined me. If I lied or if I did this or did that, I mean I don't recommend, but then maybe so, I don't know. But my father used to make me go out in the backyard and break a limb off a tree when if I did something really bad. And you know what? He did me coming out, boy. And I'm telling you, he would go to work. And at the time, look here, before I did something, I think about that whipping. And I'm not saying whip children, but you got to do something. You have to do something. But I tell you what, I'm so thankful today that my father he did what he did because this is who I am today. I am happy with myself. You know, uh, I have goals in life that I'm working on, and I'm going to attain these goals. But I have something. I have something to live for, and that's trying to help humanity as well as, excuse me, as well as develop myself. Because there's so much to learn, and there's so much not known about death for people to be so eagerly to die, so eagerly to put your life on the line. You see, because I have experience. I have experienced I have experienced that. And I also think about it, not fearful of it, but I want to understand it because we're here physically. I think you have to develop it's a refinement of your mind spiritually. You see, this earth was created out of uh, material mindedness. You see, that's why we live in a physical world made of physical things that came out of physical thinking, physical thoughts. You see, but on the other side, that's also a spiritual world. See, I don't. You can't. You just can't believe in one and not the other. Or you can if that's what you choose to do. Then that's where you will stay. And just like people say, oh, you can't separate. Uh, you can't separate church and state. They said some people say you can, but guess what? You can't because no matter how you cut it, uh, your religion or how you think is you. That's your way of life. That's how you think. That's how you are. That's how you do things. So how can you separate yourself from yourself? Say if you say, well, I'm against, you got people say, oh, well, I'm against one thing. I'm against this. So why are you against it? Well, I'm against it just because you know, I think this and this and this and this. Well, the way you think, that's your religion. You see, whether you call yourself an atheist or whatever you call yourself, your thoughts is coming from something, somewhere. So, and these are a lot of things that I want to talk about. But certainly, I have so many things to talk about. But the thing that what it is that what I want to talk about, you can't. It's like knowledge is like food, certain type of knowledge. I mean, you gotta tell people how to make money. You buy, you sell, you do this. You buy something for one price, you sell to somebody for a different price, and you make a profit. Or you go ahead and you sell somebody a dream or something. Oh, okay, you buy this, you invest in this. I'm going to do this. You take a shot. It's all about money, this and that, wheeling and dealing. Money is good, but at the end of the day, it can't keep you here forever. So, but then in there's a saying goes that uh, goes comes around. So uh, things that happens to a lot of people sometimes it happens to you for a reason, or you put to a test. Uh, you have a knack to do certain things. We don't even know why. You know, you got some guys and some people that's entertainers. You got mathematicians. You got everybody's capable of doing something once you touch that genius within you. But if you're out here just running around, not doing anything, not even thinking about anything, you're just wasting life. You're wasting your life. You're wasting that genius inside of you that could possibly be a doctor, a famous scientist, or mathematician, something. So it's just that we have got to get real. That's the best way I can put it. Because here we're at a crossroad, and the decision you make is the determining factor of whether you live or die. Because the afterlife is just as real as this. But see, while you haven't been there yet, so you don't know of it. You see, and no one has come back to really tell you about it. But the thing about it is, I uh, I went to a hospital, and when I was there uh, years ago, I was visiting my uncle, and he had his leg amputated. And he looked, and when I went there, he looked. He said, "Lou," he said, "I didn't know my leg was gone until I looked down and didn't see it." He felt it itching, everything. And supposedly the leg was there until he looked down and didn't see it. So it was gone physically, but in his consciousness, that leg was there. You understand? That part of the body was gone, but the consciousness, in his consciousness, it was there. So that being the case, when this physical body ceased to exist, the consciousness does not die. But then some people may say, well, maybe the consciousness was there because you was alive. Right. And maybe you're alive because the consciousness is there, is here. But the consciousness doesn't die. But what happens is when this physical body ceases to exist, in other words, now at this crossroad that we're in, okay, you have a chance to see wisdom things and certain knowledge to live by, to develop that godliness within. Because he's God, the Bible said we are the sons and children of God. So that means we are capable with the right guidance, the right instruction, the right way of living. We are capable to be godly, godlike. That's why you're here. I mean, what is it just to work, to live, and die? What is that? No sickness. Sickness is a result of something. That's where it comes from. So, on this note, I don't have time enough to get into what I want to talk about, but I'm going to get into it, and we'll get into it soon. But it's good to be back. Every day is a good day. I want to thank those who have listened. Uh, I think, oh yeah, two right quick. I think they get ready to catch those that sergeant and that prisoner who escaped. I heard on the news, saw the news not too long ago that they was they caught the truck or something that they were in, and the war in Ukraine. It's a shame that wars can't be settled without killing innocent human beings and uh, destroying property and homes, making people suffer. You know, I was thinking it's a shame that they can't sit at a table and do some strategizing, you know, between the two leaders or something. Stop just human lives. So they're not collateral damage. They're human lives and should be looked at it as such. I think their life is just as valuable to them as your life is to you. And that doesn't seem to be the case based on how easily people can just start dropping bombs and shooting people and killing them and raping women and you know it's terrible. It's a living hell. Is what it is, and it needs to come to a halt and work this thing out because at the end of the day, I don't care how long it goes on. It can go on for 50 years, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to sit down and work it out. So why not do it now and save the other 48 years of killing and destruction? And I mean, it's just bringing a lot of unnecessary hardship in a world that should be a paradise. This world should be a paradise, and it's a shame that we can't come to the realization that this is what we need to do. We need to make this world a paradise and stop all this killing and stuff going on, and then pointing a finger. You know, we all have a hand in this mess, and we need to stop it. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you.